E4 Sports. Sports through the eyes of veterans. This is E4 Sports. I am the good old J-Rye, along with the ferocious Phil. Before we get into sports, I'd just like to take about 30 seconds to get something off my chest. A few minutes ago, I went to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee, which, if most people know me, I'm not a huge fan of the overpriced drinks at Starbucks. But I was in the mood, so I decided to. As I walk out and I'm walking to my truck, I almost get run over by a bitch in a Mercedes who doesn't even have one hand on her cell phone and just kind of bouncing her head back and forth. She has both hands on her cell phone. Her knee is driving the car, and her head is directly down in her phone. So to all of you that talk on your cell phone, I mean holding it to your ear, or looking up your fucking Facebook status, Twitter status, how fucking important am I, blah, 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 bullshit. Fuck you. I hope you wrap your car around the fucking telephone pole instead of somebody else's car that has kids, and you kill them because you can't wait 10 fucking minutes to check your Twitter status. All right. With that said, Phil, you know, we had something very interesting happen in the NFL yesterday, which got me thinking about what I kind of wanted to do with this show. We are in a situation, the NFL is in a situation right now. They're in an identity crisis.
Identity crisis?
And the way I say identity crisis is this. For one, they want to tell us viewership is up. Okay, that may be true. But respect for the NFL is down. People may watch it because it's entertaining, but the respect for everybody in there is down. And it's stupid moves by the NFL that makes that happen. The reason why we are talking about the state of the NFL today is, if y'all have not heard, which by the time you're listening to this, you have heard the news, that as of yesterday, the Kansas City Chiefs released 2-year running back Kareem Hunt. They released Kareem Hunt because back in February, he was in a situation where he may have hit a woman.
May have?
This is back in February. I'm saying it as back in February. So the investigation started. He talked to the Kansas City Chiefs, said some stuff. Phil will fill that in a second. Let me just tell the overall. Anyway, yesterday, TMZ leaked a video of him not only pushing this woman down with enough force to knock her on her ass, as she's kneeling trying to get up, he's repeatedly kicking her.
Well, while somebody was trying to hold him back on top of everything else.
Yes. So, Kansas City released him. This was also after the NFL saw this video like everybody else did and put him on the commissioner's exempt list, pretty much meaning, hey, guess what? Your season's done. We don't know when you're coming back, but we're not kicking you out of the league. That's what that list pretty much means right now. Then he was released by Kansas City. Now, I see a lot of people on Facebook praising Kansas City, saying, way to go, you didn't suspend them, you got released them. No. Look at the timeline. This is where NFL has its problem, Phil. This happened back in February. The fact that they employ ex-FBI agents and other law enforcement to investigate these things and find this information, you're going to tell me that it took TMZ to release the video? Bullshit.
Now, what I do understand about this, though, is the hotel said they will not release this video. They would not release this video to the only people they will release it to is basically law enforcement. And the Cleveland Police Department, they're the ones who screwed up because they never requested it. Now, how TMZ got it, somebody probably came up on it and probably leaked it to them, probably made a pretty penny for that video. And I'm not making any excuses for Kareem Hunt. The whole thing with Kareem Hunt, yeah, he's not going to play another game this season. And he's probably looking at least a 6-game suspension minimum. The fact of the matter is, who's going to sign him? And he's not Ray Rice. Ray Rice was at the tail end of his career. He was on the downslope of his career, which is why nobody ever signed him again. Kareem Hunt is a young player, and they're going to probably put him through the PR spin and make him look, make him do all the right things, say all the right things, and, get him counseling, et cetera, which he needs. I mean, there's no reason for him to be beaten on a woman, period. I don't care what you do. You need to walk away. Turn around, walk away. And, now, what is it? Not only does this, the big thing is, okay, Kareem Hunt's career is on hold right now, but the bigger part is you just screwed over all your teammates and your coaches, and you just let everybody down because why? You lied your ass off when they questioned you about it.
See, I think this is where you and me differ. Because I don't think the motherfucker should play in football ever fucking again.
If it was up to me, no, he wouldn't. But I'm telling you that...
And that's where the NFL has its problem. They have learned nothing from Ray Rice. Yes, he's a talented guy, and the problem is, the sad truth is, he's going to get signed because talent means more than morality. And that is what's pissing people off about football. It is a privilege to play in the NFL. With we've got the championship games going on right now in college. There are so many talented players in college football that don't make it into the NFL. Some make it undrafted, some make it undrafted. But it's a privilege. This guy fucked up, and he's got to answer for it. That means he doesn't play another down in professional football. It's not right. They have learned nothing from Ray Rice. He repeatedly kicked her. I understand if maybe he pushed her and that was that. Okay, he made a mistake, he got involved, he pushed her, he wanted to separate, all that. No, he repeatedly kicked her. The motherfucker doesn't deserve to play another down in the NFL. And the sad truth, Phil, is you're right. He will. He will. He will get suspended, and then he'll be on a team again. That's
my whole thing with this, and I mean, this is something I know we were going to talk about in a little bit, and I don't want to leave the subject right now. However, there's precedents in the NFL where you have players that have done stuff. Hell, I'll give you a great example right now. Michael Vick.
Okay.
Yeah. What did he? I don't know if you ever saw the pictures.
Oh, absolutely.
But what he did to dogs, and as much as people love their dogs and their pets, and I understand. Okay, he wasn't raising pit bulls to be pets, but subjecting animals that have no choice in the matter is absolutely and everyone forgave him. Because why? They put him through the whole PR spin. And it's exactly what they're going to wind up doing with Kareem Hunt. And it kind of pisses me off. And then, you also have other folks and you have other players in the NFL currently that are...
Hold on, before we go there, I like what you did with Michael Vick, because you're right, because that was around the time where I really started watching football. I mean, like hardcore started watching football, watching press conferences, all that stuff. I was amazed that when he came back, especially after going to jail, and he was still brought back. I was extremely surprised. I don't think it should have happened either. And then he just became a journeyman and was kind of like pushed out. The sad thing is they let him have a swan song. He shouldn't have had a swan song.
No, but he came back and he started for Philadelphia. And
yes.
He started for several seasons for Philadelphia.
And that's where you go. Talent before morality.
And
you are losing. The NFL is losing a lot of viewers, and it's not because of the bullshit reason of the national anthem. Does it help fuel it? Yeah, but it's not like you're dumping a lot of gasoline on it. You're not. It helped make it mainstream, but you're losing viewers. And you're having more issues with other outside groups protesting you because you are a multi-billion-dollar company that is known worldwide for everything. I mean, you play in Wembley goddamn Stadium, You just had a game scheduled in Mexico City where the day before the game, you said, fuck you to the whole city. We're moving this to Los Angeles because your field sucks. So you have...
Did you see the condition of that field?
No, let me finish. So you have the clout and you have the power. And when situations like this arrive, and we'll talk about another one here in a few minutes when it comes to the Redskins and their little issue, but the NFL needs to start making a stand, and it needs to start with this young man and Kareem Hunt. Did you make a mistake? Yes. Are you young? Yes. But you made it in the wrong place. You made it in a very privileged profession, and you screwed up. You've got to pay the price.
Basically, you're going to be our example.
Yes. All right, Phil, you you had some issues with another team this week.
I have an issue with, if you haven't been paying attention, Reuben Foster, former number 1 draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers, linebacker, was arrested last Saturday, a week ago today, on domestic battery. And then San Francisco on Sunday released him. Why? Because this is a ongoing repeat deal that Reuben Foster has done. And of course, people are shocked, and they're looking at Washington saying, what the hell? I mean, you signed this guy 2 days after you picked him up on waivers. You got him 2 days after he'd been cut. And Doug Williams, the senior vice president for the Redskins, basically says and this is a quote. I've got 6 daughters, so it ain't something I would condone. However, at the same time, I think we are in the business of at least looking into Foster's case. I could sit here and I won't name a bunch of teams that took on players that got a lot of baggage that nobody's saying anything about. But he also said there are other people doing worse things. Are you kidding me? I mean, so you're basically dismissing it. You have 6 daughters. What if one of your daughters was one of these, was the female that he beat on? What if that was the female that Kareem Hunt just beat the crap out of? You going to sit back and you're going to sign him anyway? Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're a fucking hypocrite. And this is bullshit. You should not be signing Foster. Foster should be the example, and so should Kareem Hunt. Take one from offense and defense. Don't let him get away with this crap. Foster's a repeat offender, and he's getting picked up. Hunt's sitting there being hung out to dry, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. Hunt does deserve to be hung out to dry. But Foster gets what is this, like a 4th, 5th chance? How many times in college did he have issues with this? It's not like it wasn't known about. So basically, once again, is this the NFL condoning violence towards women?
The sad thing is Foster, he's also on that exempt list. The reason why he was signed was so that when he gets off that exempt list, they have a cheap player because he's still stuck on the contract that he got while on the exempt list. Just like, example, we're going to go
on
back.
His rookie contract is
exactly.
What he's on.
So what it is it's a cheap acquire. Hunt is on the waiver wire. All somebody has to do is pick him up on the waiver wire. When he serves his game, gets off the list, guess what? You now have him on his rookie contract for cheap labor as a running back.
For at least 10 more years. And
that's why Reuben Foster got hired.
So he will not have, they won't have the 5th year.
Correct.
Like with a first rounder. Anyway, that
see,
was my
with
rant,
Foster,
and I still think Doug Williams, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. You got 6 daughters and you signed this scumbag.
Look who the owner is. I mean, look who the owner is. Name me.
You know what? You're right. It's not just Doug Williams. It's the entire Redskin organization, including Dan Snyder. I mean, because you don't sign this guy without Snyder's okay.
Correct.
So, hey, buck stops here at the top. Snyder, you're just as bad as Doug Williams and every other personnel.
Look, I've got family members that live in Virginia and live in the Washington, D.C. area. Nobody likes that owner. Nobody likes that owner. He's the one that it all starts with.
Now, I haven't looked it up, but how many women work for the Redskins?
I don't know.
When don't you think they should? Don't you think they would be
It's
concerned about this at the worst?
And I'm going to bring up a situation that's kind of sad when you look at how much they're kind of. And I wanted to ask a question of you with this, Phil. I want to ask you if you think the NFL is targeting this individual. And it'll kind of cycle back to where we are right now in this conversation. So Eric Reed, who was a member of the 49ers, who knelt with
part of the lawsuit,
who knelt with Kaepernick, and who jumped then after the season. He didn't even wait to get signed by anybody, which was his mistake, and he jumped on the collusion case with Kaepernick because nobody was signing him. Well, you only waited like 2 months, dude. But he gets signed. He's playing for Carolina. The first game he plays, he comes out during the toy toss against the Philadelphia Eagles, goes after Malcolm Jennings, talking about, what about Kaepernick? You stabbed him in the back. And then there's a big scuffle. Well, later on in that game, he goes in and does a targeting foul, gets disqualified. Next game he plays, I forgot the team, same thing. Targeting, disqualified. He's now coming out and saying he has been drug tested by the league 9 times when they're supposed to be random, but every time there's one down, he's now on that list. So,
what's the history, though?
My question to you before I go on, do you think that the NFL is targeting him?
If there's precedent for them to, if he's had drug problems before, which I'm not,
I am not privy to that because we would have heard about some of that.
Exactly. I mean, but as far as if your behavior is showing potential, hey, you're acting in a unsafe way or kind of a sketchy kind of way, and there's concern about maybe you are doing drugs or maybe you're on something. I mean, I believe there's got to be contract language that would basically allow them to do that. And as far as the NFL drug policies, from the way I always understood it was basically you had to pass. You could basically, once the season was over, you had until August.
But here's the thing: he's never had history of it. I remember in a tweet he's come out and said,
I mean, they review that on.
Well, no. I know, but what I'm saying is the league targeting him.
Oh.
Is what I'm saying with the random drug
tests and all that
stuff.
Penalties this year.
So his behavior on that end, yeah, he kind of deserved that. But that also goes into me thinking: is the league looking at him and saying, "Oh, you want payback? That's why you're getting these targetings." Are they out to get him? Is what I mean by are they targeting him? Do you think the league is out to get him because he jumped on that collusion case?
No, I don't think that's. I mean, I don't think the NFL's that petty. At least I would hope they're not that petty.
No one can see my face, but as soon as he said that, my eyes just popped open with the dumbfound look on my face.
Do I really think the NFL is going after him? Why? Yeah, I mean, no, I really don't. I don't think it's worth their time. What are they going to gain out of it?
That's true.
So no, I think that's just I think that's Reed sitting there crying and bitching again, because it's not like they're sitting there announcing that's his word saying that he's been drug tested all these times.
Well, that's very true. That's very true.
So that would be there would have to be some kind of precedent, like somebody reported him taking steroids or doing something, some kind of banned substance by the NFL. But but I mean, what's the deal with him sitting there, at the coin flips starting crap with,
Yeah, he felt like Malcolm Jenkins was stabbing everybody in the back because he decided to play, and it's more like Eric. Well, here's my thing when it comes to that situation. Eric, shut the fuck up. You're back in. Kaepernick is not coming back in the league. It's not gonna happen. He does. I don't even think even if the man was offered a job, he would do it. He is making more money outside being a spokesperson, getting advertising, and not getting beat up. He's not coming in. If he does, I do think it'll be an issue because he doesn't give a shit.
But once again, I mean, this is another thing. Like Kareem Hunt, Ray Rice. Kareem Hunt's very early in his career, whereas Ray Rice is on the downslope, and Cap is not exactly getting any younger as we talk, and his skills were already diminished. What do you think they're going to, what you do in shorts is one thing. When the pads come on and it's live action, completely different thing. Hey, that's why the Combine's known as the Underwear Olympics. I mean, how many guys at the Combine wind up shooting up the draft ladder because they had a great combine?
Yeah.
And it does not always translate to the field.
So before we end the show, we got everybody's heard about it. In the past 24 hours, we have lost one of a beloved man on both sides of the aisle. They'll both say it. He's one of the most loved presidents. He was
Ronald Reagan?
No. He was number 41, President George Herbert Walker Bush. 94 years old.
8 months after his
8 months after Barbara
passed away.
Which, by people don't know, they were married 72 years, which makes them the longest lasting marriage president. So, sir, as a taxpayer, as a citizen, and as a veteran, I salute you, sir. Say hi to your wife for me.
Rest in peace, sir.
Another sad note. Being a Houston Texans fan is something I have been extremely proud to do and be since 2002. When I was younger, I would go to the Oilers game at the Astrodome. I remember some, not a whole lot. I was still young, wasn't totally into football. And then they moved. Bud Adams, the piece of shit he was, decided to literally flick off the city and move his ass to Tennessee. And now they are the Tennessee Titans. In 2002, 2002, after a long process by the owner, Mr. Robert C. McNair, who fought the league repeatedly to get a team back in Houston, to the point where the NFL and the owners wanted him to buy the Redskins. They wanted him to buy Los Angeles. They wanted him to buy the Miami Dolphins. He didn't like it because he wanted the field himself, and he realized he would still have to rent the field, and he didn't like that. So he didn't like that option. Then they wanted him in L.A. They wanted a team in L.A. They did not want a team in Houston. John McClain, a writer for the Houston Chronicle, told a story this past week.
Relation.
Yeah, no relation to
McNair.
Anyway, I'm trying to be serious, and you're trying to screw with my mind.
I apologize.
John McClain said that he felt he was a early sports writer, and he felt Houston would never see another down of football. Then come 2002, our very first inaugural game, regular season game, was against the Dallas Cowboys. Me and my dad had the privilege to sit in a suite along the 50-yard line for this game. It was so loud, Phil, that the ball fell over on the tee. The TV announcers were talking about how it was wind. The stadium was closed. That place was vibrating. The
stadium's only been open like maybe
3 times.
6. Yeah, three times? I was going to say at the most 6. And
that vibration of that crowd was so loud. Twice that ball fell over. Okay? Well, guess what? We beat the hell out of the Cowboys in the very first inaugural game. So, Cowboys, I don't care what y'all have to say. Y'all lost the very first game of an expansion team. Okay? America's team, my ass. And if it wasn't for this man, we would not have football in this city, and I could not say I was a Houston Texans fan. This man, Robert C. McNair, passed away last Friday at the age of 86 from cancer. So, Mr. Bob McNair, to you.
And that was a good year plus battle.
I raise a glass to you. I thank you for bringing this city, the community, and all sports lovers together in a team that we call the Houston Texans. For Ferocious Phil, this is J. Rye. Hooah!